Hey everybody, this is David Levenstein, producer at 1039 LI News Radio. If you're a professional, if you're a business owner, and you want to tell all of Long Island what it is that you do, I need you to contact me. Contact me. Don't be shy. My show at jvcbroadcasting.com. My show at jvcbroadcasting.com. We're going to tell all of Long Island about you. And you're going to do it right here from our gorgeous, gorgeous studio at the MacArthur Airport. If you've been here and you've walked down to the luggage carousels, you've seen our station right here. It's all covered in glass, and you can see in, and we can see you, and you can see us as we're broadcasting. And I want you down here with me. So visit me at my show at jvcbroadcasting.com. My guest is Neil Himmelstein. He is the host of A Code to Financial Success, which you can hear when, Neil?
Fridays at 3 o'clock.
Fridays at 3 o'clock. His website is mainstreetplanninggroup.com, mainstreetplanninggroup.com. If you're working with a financial planner right now and you're invested in the stock market, you're having a great few years. I mean, you're having a great decade almost. I mean, really, it's been terrific.
A great run.
It's been the longest bull run that we've had in many years, and we've all made some great money, and it's good. However, that being said, there is still a portion of your portfolio that should be allocated towards insurance, be it life insurance, long-term care, annuities, things like that. And that's where Neil comes in. He works with your financial planner, right?
Correct.
Not taking business from your financial planner, but he works with your financial planner to make sure that your financial planner has the right investments for you. Explain to everybody what that means, how you work with their financial planners.
Well, I'm an independent. Besides being a consultant, I'm an independent wholesaler. I work with planners, CPAs, attorneys all over the country who seek my advice as an insurance expert.
So you're an insurance wholesaler. What that means, folks, is you're a financial planner when they need insurance advice, when they're looking for an insurance product to incorporate within your portfolio. Who they contact is Neil from Main Street Planning Group. That's who they contact. If you don't have a financial planner, and you need to meet one that specializes in these investments, amongst others, contact Neil, right?
Correct.
And you'll point them in the right direction of somebody who is really knowledgeable about this area by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com. Give them a call at 631-647-4694. Tell them, Neil, I'm interested in some of these products that we're going to talk about now. Is there a financial planner locally that I can work with? So Neil's not here to sell you specifically. He's here to point you in the right direction to find the right advisor for you.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the products that you support these financial planners in.
Well, let's just take a step back.
Okay,
so,
stepping back.
Stepping back. The biggest fear people have is outliving their money.
Yeah.
Is okay, I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. The market's been great. And they got, you look at the paper and, wow, I got a big lump sum of money here in my account, and everything's going great.
And I'm working out. I'm eating healthy. I'm trying to live as long as I can.
Great.
Right.
But, unfortunately, the market goes up and goes down.
Sure.
The worst thing that could possibly happen to anyone is they get some sort of dementia or Alzheimer's, and you have a market crash.
Right.
And you're the one managing your money. What who's gonna look after your portfolio then? I mean,
right.
Or if you're the king of the household and you're making all the decisions and it's been going good.
Right.
But you know what? You have an accident, something goes wrong, you get a little forgetful, you weren't paying attention.
Right.
Things happen. Yeah. Now, we are at an unprecedented time.
I got to go back to what you just said. That happens a lot. Where people are managing their money, the kids really don't know what's going on in their parents' portfolios and things like that, and then the parents become forgetful and become a little senile, and dementia begins, and the kids have no idea what's going on. The financial planner doesn't even know the children,
right?
And things become really chaotic.
Really chaotic. And I've seen situations recently where I had an older man that did very well in the market. He had one stock that did fantastic. Actually, the stock is still doing fantastic. He decided, you know what? I paid like nothing. It was an Apple was the stock. Paid nothing for it.
Never heard of him.
Now he's got $3 million of Apple stock.
Right.
So he sells.
Oh, Lord.
So he pays $500,000 in income tax, where if he had talked to a planner not just a financial guy moving in and out of stocks, a planner, a true planner,
Right.
that may or may not have been the most tax efficient way to sell. Now he's 93 years old, so now instead of leaving $3 million to his family,
Right. He's less than $2.5 million. Yeah.
right, where that may have been, in cap. I mean, that could happen. Or you have somebody who's turns on the TV. My father did, but of course, and my brothers were questioning him at the time. My father would be 103 right now. My brothers who aren't
Wait, hold on. What happened when your father turned on the TV? I'm nervous.
My father was investing in stocks from the time he was 16 years old.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. My father would be 100, let's say October 18, 1917. So he would be 105 this year.
Okay.
Wow. 104. Thank you. So my father knew his stock. He was a buy and hold guy. He knew when to buy, when to sell. Before there were computers, he didn't use a computer. He had everything in his head. He watched the market every day. Loved it.
Right.
In his 80s, he started watching Kramer. He loved Kramer. Okay, Kramer's a hedge fund guy.
And he's entertaining.
So all of a sudden, my father's, I'm going to take a flyer on this stock. I'm going to take a flyer on this stock.
Oh, boy.
And you know what? It wasn't bad. But my brother, who's very conservative, not in the business, was like, Dad doesn't know what he's doing. He's taking a flyer. He's doing it. My dad knew what he's doing. Right. But there are many people who don't.
Sure.
Okay? And
I thought this was going to have a bad ending, this story.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
It didn't. But all I'm saying is it could be a bad ending.
Yeah.
Okay?
For many people.
Eventually, my father, he was okay with his brain. He lost his physical capabilities, back and neck and all that.
Okay.
His brain stayed intact. There was a time when he had cancer and he got over it, but during the cancer, he was taking a lot of medicines and his brain wasn't there.
Right.
Luckily, nothing happened. Luckily. But it could have, because he was a long-term investor. But it could have been a disaster. But he did ask me a question one time. I'll never forget, even before I was in the business.
I was waiting for a bad ending to the story.
No, it's not a bad ending. But he said to me,
so the answer,
son, I don't
the moral
understand.
of the story is
he goes,
whatever Kramer says, bye.
He goes, son, I don't understand. I have this Kodak stock. Because my father bought blue chip stocks.
Right.
He said, I have Kodak. I don't understand why this stock isn't doing so well. Mm-hmm. And he was a veterinarian, very good professional. I said, well, let me ask you something. Where does Kodak make its money, Dad? I said, they make it in paper. They make it in cameras and paper. And this is when Polaroids came out. This is even before cell phones. I said, people aren't using paper anymore. They're using these Polaroids and having instant pictures. Yeah. So all that film that they were selling, they're not selling. They didn't diversify yet.
Right.
Okay, I know you use it for your X-ray film, and I know, but all of a sudden, all those camera film, they're not using. So Kodak is not relevant like it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because he loved photography and 35 millimeter and all this. So all of a sudden, you're not using the paper.
Right.
You're not using the film. Mm-hmm. So that's why maybe Kodak, even before I was in the business.
Right.
He says, wow, you're right. I never thought of that. Well, same thing happened with IBM for a while. You have to stay current, and you have to know what you're doing. And you know what?
Companies come in and out of favor, and as there's new innovations, they become they become less relative.
And they have to learn how to pivot and move.
Right.
Or they could become extinct.
Okay, so let's go back to how people can allocate insurance into their portfolio to protect them from either trading mistakes that they made or large capital gains.
The interesting thing is that we'll go to life insurance now. I know we talked about long-term care. Mm-hmm. Life insurance is the last protected thing there is.
Okay.
Protected from income taxes at death.
Right.
So if you buy $1 million policy, that $1 million goes to your heirs. Other things can be taxed very heavily.
Right.
Your IRA, your 401k, extremely heavily taxed.
Sure.
And if you have an estate tax that's due in New York, over $5 million, there's a New York tax.
Right.
Over $11 million right now, it's a federal tax. Mm-hmm. Where
that's going to change.
That's sunsetting in 2025 and going back to $6 million if nothing happens in the next month. Mm-hmm. We're projecting it to go down.
It's going down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going down.
There are certain progressive Democrats who look to go down to 3.
It's going down.
But we think it'll land at 5 or 6.
It's going down.
But it's going down.
Sure.
And the other thing is they got rid of, in the beginning of the year, the stretch IRA, which was a great strategy. They got rid of it so that your heirs have to take the money in the next 10 years.
As opposed to
any retirement as opposed to their lifetime.
Their lifetime, yeah.
So what that means is not only is it estate tax, but every payment they get over the next 10 years, they got to pay regular income tax on, because this was all deductible money from your pensions.
Right.
So that has to be planned. And the other great tool is this Roth IRA, and Congress has bills in to screw around with that as well, where higher income people can no longer do IRA conversions to Roth IRA or defective IRA trust.
But their IRA conversions, they had
to the Roth IRA.
Yeah, IRA conversions to Roth IRA, you still had to pay the tax over a certain amount of period.
Yeah, you have to pay it then to avoid paying later.
Sure.
To take out money later.
In order to convert it, you have
but
to
they're
pay
looking to stop
the tax.
that. And what they can mess around with Roth IRA. The thing I'm talking about, IRAs, Roth IRAs, all these rules can change.
Right.
Life insurance is protected. We have a big lobby.
Right.
I'm very involved in my association that's been protecting the benefits of life insurance for the last 130 years.
Now, life insurance, because there's a beneficiary on it, like other qualified accounts, avoids probate, right? So the money goes directly to your heirs, and it's not in your estate, right?
That's correct.
The death benefit is not in your estate.
It is in your estate. It is in your estate. Only if it's inside an irrevocable life insurance trust is it out of your estate.
Okay. So
that's some very important in planning.
Okay, so for me, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to buy life insurance policy. It's going to be out of your estate. And I know that a lot of people think that, but that's not accurate.
That's not accurate.
So the life insurance trust needs to be in a
irrevocable life insurance trust for it to be out of your estate.
Right.
Otherwise, let's say you have $1 million policy, $5 million policy, and you have all this other stuff and it's in your name, that all gets added up to the IRS as taxable.
Okay, so as confused as I am sure you are either more or less confused, probably less confused than me. But it's still very confusing. And this is why we need advice. This is why we have advisors. The rules change. The laws change. And as we get older and as our life becomes more complex, as we have more needs for insurance and fears for outliving our money, as we have needs for things like long-term care and guaranteed income and creating a pension for ourselves, these are the reasons why we need to contact Neil. His company is Main Street Planning Group. That's Main Street Planning Group. The website is mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com. The phone number is 631-647-4694. And you can listen to him every Friday at 3 p.m. Learn more about how your money should be allocated to help us, you, in our future. Because right now we're working for our money, but there's going to come a time when we're going to want our money to work for us.
100%.
And that is what we plan for.
Right.
That is what we plan for. To get to a point in our life when we have enough money and enough insurance and enough long-term care and enough annuities where you can sit back and go, wow, I've created a plan for myself.
Right.
A well-allocated, well-strategized plan where I can sit back and now allow my money to work for me. I've worked for the last 45 years for my money. And now, probably for the next 30 years, my money's going to work for me. And maybe, if we're lucky, if we plan smart, maybe it'll work for our kids as well.
Yeah, no, it's a great analysis and absolutely what we do. And intergenerational planning is so important.
Yeah.
And the laws are changing very rapidly.
I want to leave money to my kids. I want to make their life as easier than I had it for myself. I wasn't left anything. I would like to have something to leave them, to just give them a head start.
Well, to pay for their college loans or to help them pay for college or they may have debt or other issues, and wouldn't it be nice to
or just to have money so they can buy a house or start a business.
Exactly.
Just to give, or maybe they want to take that money and stick it in a retirement account for themselves.
Correct.
For their future.
Absolutely.
Whatever they want to do with it. I'll be dead.
Or the grandkids or.
But those are things that are important because we love our family. So these are the reasons why you contact Neil. Again, it's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, mainstreetplanninggroup.com. And again, people think that when someone comes, they're trying to sell me this, is trying to sell me that. They're not. You don't charge a fee to the clients.
No, absolutely not.
Right. They're not trying to sell you anything. They're just offering you alternatives to reallocate what you currently have. It's just a reallocation. You're investing your money anyway. It's just a reallocation to help you in the future. That's what it is. There's no bill coming from Neil's office. There's nothing like that. Just to reallocate your portfolio to help you meet certain goals that you have, that you put in front of yourself.
Right.
These are your goals.
Right.
No one's making them for you. These are your goals. Not to be a burden on my children, to leave money for my kids, to have enough money in retirement, to not outlive my money, to keep up with inflation, to have as much tax-free income as they possibly can have. There's so many things that we should all be thinking about, right?
I know. And, the problem with most people is they sit and wait.
Yeah.
They sit and wait. Oh,
I'm 62. I haven't done anything.
Or they'll sit and they're waiting. They're doing fine. And all of a sudden there's a change in the government. Oh, my God, this president's in, that president's in, this guy's in, that. What's going to happen, But you know what? All these questions can be answered if you're planned properly.
Right.
You never keep all your eggs in one basket. Everyone's told you that.
Yeah.
Diversify your assets. You've heard that since the day you were born. But I'd like to talk about diversifying your tax classes as well.
What do you mean?
It's so important. Well, many of the people that I've worked with over the last 30 years have tax-free income coming in.
Right.
And not taxable income coming in.
And you're not talking about tax-free municipal bonds, which basically pay nothing now.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, you want to have tax-free income. You want to have tax-deferred income.
Right.
And there's going to be taxable income. But isn't it nice when you retire to have that choice of where I want my money to come from? A lot of people are afraid to spend their pension in their 401k. They sit with these large balances and they're invested, and that's great. That's great. I'm going to take out the minimum. Well, all of a sudden, at some point, it's really taxable. Not only income taxable, but if you leave it behind, it could be doubly taxed.
Right.
It could be income taxable to your heirs and estate taxable to your heirs. You could leave 80 cents on the dollar.
Hey, check this out. And everybody think about this. When we're working right now, when we earn our paycheck and we get the check and we realize, wow, we got killed. The government took this, the state took this, the federal government took that, Social Security took this, Medicare took that, unemployment tax did this. I pay real estate tax, I pay sales tax, I pay special tax on when I go to the liquor store and gasoline. We're paying tax on everything.
Yep.
And guess what? When we die, we pay even more tax.
Right. If you're not planned properly,
I mean,
it's a disaster.
Yeah, we're paying so much tax right now. Real estate tax, sales tax, all these other taxes. We're probably all at the 50% tax bracket. We don't even know it.
Right.
And then we're going to get taxed more. Even our Social Security is taxed now up to 85%. So it's really it's a shame how much planning that we really actually have to do. But thank God that we have planners to help us out.
Right.
And there are laws that they know, that they're familiar with. This is why we hire a lawyer. This is why we go to a doctor, because we're not familiar with the insides of our bodies as much as somebody else's. This is why we, I go to a therapist because I can't solve my own problems.
Right.
So we called Neil at the Main Street Financial Planning Group. The website is mainstreetplanninggroup.com. The phone number is 631-647-4694. And listen to him every Friday at 3 o'clock. This is the kind of information you're going to get. This is it, man. This is the information you're going to get on LI News Radio. It's going to help you into the future.
Yep.
We've got 2 minutes left.
I wanted to tell you, we work with a lot of strategic partners.
Yeah.
And I need to caution you because, if you have a headache, you don't go to a foot doctor.
Right.
Okay? If you have an estate that is going to be taxable, or you need to apply for Medicare, you need to go to a specialized attorney.
Right.
So if your attorney is a generalist, please call us and let's put you in touch with the right attorney for the right situation.
Sure.
Or an accountant that, if you're using one of these services that just kind of does your taxes and does no planning.
Right.
And you really need planning and you need a CPA, call us and we'll put you in touch with the right people. It's so important.
Right.
And I like to work with attorneys and CPAs because we like to work as a financial team to help you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's about you and your money and your family and your legacy. That's what it's all about. It's not about somebody trying to sell you a product or do this or do that.
Right.
It's doing the right thing to protect you and your assets.
Right. And when Neil talks about selling a product, insurance is a product, but these are products that are designed to create wealth to transfer to other people. I mean, it's really, it's something that we all want. It's something that we all need. And some people, when they say, I want insurance, sometimes it's too late because maybe they're not healthy enough to get insurance.
That's a big issue.
Or it's very, very expensive.
Right. So when it gets to that point,
Mm-hmm.
there are other means for planning.
Right.
There are other assets to maneuver around
Right.
to either plan legally
Right.
of transferring assets to help you get on Medicaid if necessary.
Right.
Yeah, that's what elder attorneys do. So there's lots of things you can do.
Yeah. So even if you think you have some underlying health conditions, it's really, really important to contact Neil. Let him find the right allocation for you. MainStreetPlanningGroup.com. That's MainStreetPlanningGroup.com, 631-647-4694. Listen to him every Friday at 3 p.m. as he hosts The Code to Financial Success. My name is David Levenstein. This is Back to Business on 103.9.
Another one.